I wanted to quickly give you a glimpse of this particular course and the value it has created for a lot of our students. So this is basically the course that allows you to learn all about the flow-based data-centric chatbots. So unlike the flow-based chatbots, basically they are mostly drag and drop. You can easily build a flow. But what sets this course apart is basically they are data-centric. Now in order to create a data-centric course, you basically require a database, and then you need a way to point to a database and interact with it. So in this course we are going to offer you a shared SQL Server instance that can be easily accessed by our inbuilt editor. So you will be able to query the data available in our database via the queries and the tables that we already have. So that is something that we have already built, which is a part of the course offering. The second thing about this particular course is that we have also built APIs. APIs are nothing but the endpoints that connect to the certain aspect of your tables. So we are going to offer you lot many APIs, and on top of that we have designed something which is called as a magic API. So even if there is no specific API connecting to a certain table, you will be able to use this magic APIs to query any aspect, any tables or any columns within the shared database. So this is a huge offering that we are providing in this particular course. So I just wanted to quickly give you a demo of how easy it is to create a data-centric chatbot. So let me show you something here. So if you go into the editor, you will have to have your own key. Once you enter your key, you validate the key. Assuming that you have a valid key, then you will gain access to the shared database. So this is the inbuilt query editor that directly integrates with the custom SQL server, and we have various different tables that will help you to gain a very good experience over writing queries. So we've got a lot of tables. Let's look at some of those. So this is the order management domain tables that we already have, and once you see the list of tables, you can easily query them using the inbuilt editor. Let's query the customers. So here we can see the customer data. Like customers, we can also look at the orders table. So here we can see the orders table here. Right. So this is an inbuilt editor that connects to the SQL server. We then have an array of various different APIs. Some of them are specific to the table or the domain. For example, get orders by ID queries the orders table that we just saw. You would have customer by ID, that's similar for the customer table. You also have orders by customer ID. So for a customer, you can fetch all the orders. So these API responses are tailored to the chatbot platform, which means that you can directly consume this response into the platform without even writing any code to render it straight away into the chatbots. So let us look at the magic APIs, which is basically a unique selling proposition of this particular course. So this is an API that can query any aspect of any of the tables or any data within the tables. So in this example, we are trying to query the data from the orders where the customer ID is 1, and this response is tailored to the platform. So the platform can straightforward render this particular information and show it to the customers. For you, this is very important because you do not have to worry about creating APIs for every tables. let's say that you want to query a certain aspect of the orders table. So you could actually straightforward query this by first trying to understand the table itself from here. So if I say top 3, get me the top 3 rows from the orders table where customer is 1. So let's quickly write that query. Let's run the query. So here we can see that we are able to query the table directly from our API endpoint. So this API endpoint is capable of returning multiple results in form of an array. Now this response can directly be consumed by our chatbot. So let me show you how easy it is to consume this API in our chatbot platform. Here let us quickly create a new project within our platform. We'll start from the scratch. Let's give the chatbot name as agent order status query. Let's create a new bot. So in this canvas we can design our flow, and here I'm going to show you that how easy it is to consume the data from our SQL Server database in real time using the Magic API. So let us first create a text box. So we will name our text box as input customer ID. So we are going to collect the response from the user. Then we need to query this particular customer against our SQL Server database. So let us add a specific block that will allow us to query. So let's use the HTTP block this time to render the response directly to our users. So our customer ID will be an input to this particular block, and here we can simply add relevant parameters. So let's complete that particular step. Let's add the endpoint. The method is post. Let's also add our payload, which is an input. Let's also add the relevant headers. So let us copy and paste the information. So we have the content type and the user key. Let us make this query dynamic to accept the input from the users. So here we are going to use the latest response, a response coming from our customer, the response coming up from our agent. Let's make certain adjustment to improve the aesthetics of our bot. We are going to add some relevant text in the text box. So here we are requesting the agent to enter the customer ID, and that customer ID is passed into the block that queries the data directly from the SQL Server. It is as easy as that. Now let's run this and test. So here we can see that we are able to retrieve the results directly onto the bot. So it's very simple to consume APIs, especially with the Magic APIs. Those have been provided to you. So this is going to help you focus more on designing the bot rather than worrying about how to use the endpoints and how to retrieve the data from the database. So let us validate our results that we saw in our platform and see whether we are getting similar results or not. Yes, we can see that we are getting the order ID, which is 1, 2 and 12, which has a certain status. So here we have made it so easy for our students to query information directly from the database and easily consume them into other chatbot platform, which allows you to focus on your designing skills. And this is just one of the aspects of this particular content. So the way the course is divided into multiple sections is that we go through the introduction of the platform, followed by all of the blocks. The basic blocks and the advanced blocks are being covered as a part of our fundamentals. Then we start with our API basics, where we talk about the endpoints, the JSON objects, and various different ways to consume APIs. We then cover an inbuilt database. This section contains all about the content management system APIs and the examples on how to create a chatbot using the inbuilt database. Plus, there will going to be a lot of customizations that we are showing, and we're going to continue to add many bonus lessons over here. So this is where we have all our community participate in designing, developing and discussing chatbots and the platforms. You've got an array of documentation available in this particular platform. What sets this course apart is that the bot here is completely trained on the platform. So you can actually query various different aspects of the platform itself within this particular assistant. For example, you can ask the bot to provide you more information about a transit SQL statement that can be plugged into the SQL Server to help you write a left join, and the bot is going to respond to that. Here there is an example where we are trying to select the customers joining with the orders. There is a left join on the customers to ensure that we get all the details from the customers. Or for example, you can request when you're working with an API that you need a Node.js code snippet that's going to help you structure your code to implement the Node.js function and call an API directly into the scripting block. Or you can also request the bot to provide you with a regex expression. Here in this case we are trying to validate a 10-digit number, and it's going to provide you with the answers. You can also request information about various different blocks that we are learning in this particular course to get a deeper insights into every element, into every block. You can leverage this assistant to help you write a complete flow in the platform. So this AI assistant is going to help you in every aspect of your learning as you progress towards this particular course.